Hello, welcome to All About Stocks. My name is Alan, and if you just watched my previous video, I am the person who asked you to be nice to Joe Biden, and that's not too hard to understand. I'm just asking you to be nice to elderly and someone who's having trouble speaking to or having trouble publicly speaking, which I am too. I'm having trouble speaking to the masses online. Um, I'm having trouble getting used to it. And with that, let's start with I'll tell you why I think the economy is going to the Cooper. My son would love that. So, upcoming next week, I believe next week we will kind of start out transitioning kind of with a sideways momentum. And there's nothing really taking off as far as anything that will jump up that I believe will be stock moving. And by the way, I really focus on the Qs, NASDAQ. So if you trade a specific stock or outside of the NASDAQ, I really focus on the NASDAQ and tech heavy. So this channel is probably more NASDAQ positioned. So and that's probably something you need to keep in mind. Now, as far as that goes, right now I do believe that the stock market in general, I believe, is going to be kind of going sideways, not just in NASDAQ, but Monday, Tuesday, mainly Monday, I think is going to be just sideways. I don't see anything right here. Let me see here. I don't see anything moving in the stock market right there. And erase this. Now, Tuesday, I don't think that the stock market is going to move anything on Tuesday, but now as far as movement goes, I think that we might be selling off Tuesday or Wednesday because of getting ready for the PCE and the inflation. Now, Europe, they had a record high inflation come out earlier this week, and I believe it was the 23rd. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it came out on the 23rd. So that would have been what, Wednesday. So and that their inflation beat our inflation. It was, I believe, 9.9. And I also think that we're going to have a higher initial jobless claims, which jobless claims, if we have higher jobless claims, that might actually be good for the market. I won't like it, but the whoever you want to call it, the market movers or whatever, they might like that the jobless claims are going up, but it's sad I can't think of who I'm talking about, but and everyone I know who's watching this video is screaming. But anyways, let's jump over here. So coronavirus is, of course, still going around, and the fact is that a lot more people do have the shot. They still They have the booster, and it's just not as prevalent in our area. The thing that is scaring people, or will be scaring people coming up, is monkeypox. I don't know if many people are aware of it, but there have been a few reported cases that have came out. Now, we have here the collected unemployment. Now, we are at record lows compared to 2020. Let me move this over here. The confidence of the economy, I'm sure everyone is aware of this. It's just tanked. I mean, it's just dropped. We're considered down there since back when Corona came out. And I mean, with inflation, no one's expecting anything else. I mean, when milk is just about doubled and there's a war going on, everyone's feeling it. And then, yeah, filling up the car right here, gas is what, $7-8 depending on your state, $6 here in Texas. I think it's $6.50 here in Texas. So just depending on where you're at, I mean, gas is just crazy. And retailers, CNBC said that they're expecting a drop in retailers or shopping. Now, that's another thing, is that when the government released all those stimulus checks, that helped out. Then they also they said that a lot of people have saved those stimulus checks, and the government says that it's lasted this long. I don't know about you, but it didn't last me the month. Now, they're saying that a lot of people put everything on credit cards, and they're expecting the credit cards to be maxed out by the end of next month. And a lot of people are going to start feeling the pinch from the credit cards, and that's really going to come into effect around next month. Now, I've been talking to a few people. Now, as far as if you have margin on your account, with all this, it's 4 o'clock here, 4 a.m. right now. With the Fed lifting their rates, if you have margin, the Fed lifting their rates, let's say you have $10,000 in margin, just easy example, then you would, with $10,000 in margin, then your estimated payments would be around $1,000 in payments for the month. That's just an estimation. Just quick, easy math. And I'm sure not everyone has $10,000. I'm sure it's not going to be that easy. But I'm just trying to give everyone an easy, quick heads up after that last 0.75 rate hike. So we also have people who were going to buy a house. They backed out because, yeah, I mean, when you're only putting, $250 towards the payment, and then you're putting what, $800-900 in interest, I'm guessing, I'm not in that situation. However, it very easily could be a situation like that. I wouldn't want to be doing that for 30 years. And if someone's smart, they wouldn't want to be doing that either. Now, I haven't found any or much information about airplanes outside of last weekend that a bunch of flights were canceled. I think it's something like 5,000. Also, the airline industry is hurting for everything from pilots, flight attendants, all the way down to people working in the McDonald's at the airport. So they're trying to hire anyone and everyone who will come work for them. So, I mean, you know, if you got experience, you need a job, I'd go work for the airline industry. Now, keep in mind, my uncle worked for the airline industry, and he worked for them for, 45 years. I think the average time for the airline industry before bankruptcy is something like 25 years. So he worked for, I think, American for something like 10 years. They went bankrupt. He worked for United for 40 years, and they went bankrupt twice. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen again. However, he spent his entire life working for them, and they went bankrupt during his time 3 times. So it's not something I would, you know, spend my entire life working there or trust my entire retirement plan with. That's my personal opinion. It's not financial advice. It's just what he experienced, my uncle. Now, this is something, if I can, slow internet. Now, Powell says risk of recessions are not particularly elevated right now. And then he comes back. If I can get stuff to quit popping up here. Let's see if this will help. So here he says it's not elevated, and we can also handle an additional rate hike. Earlier, he was also talking about, or I think it was Barkin who was talking about a higher rate hike. I think he was talking closer to a 1% or a full 100 base point. Now, I pulled up the Qs here, the NASDAQ. As I said earlier, I do trade mainly on the NASDAQ. And people are talking about the lowest volume, and if anyone does pay attention, over the last few days there has been very minimum volume. Now this has gained a lot of as the net. I can't get just nothing's working for me today. So yes, we had little volume. However, with that, we did gain a lot of. Well, we didn't jump. We did jump. What was it? $12 in the last few days. It went something from 273, 270 to 282. This is saying we're at 295. I don't think that's correct though. Yeah, it is. So that would be 270 to 295. So we went up $25 in the last 5 days. So I mean that's a pretty good jump for 5 days. Now, I mean, after the past week, that we're kind of the 50% correction from last week, or the halfway mark. So we're trying to recover some ground. Now, on TradingView here, you'll see that I've got to clear out these ads. I apologize. So what we basically did was we moved the halfway mark down. Now what my belief is that we're just going to have some chop, and then either we're going to try to take out this low or we're going to come down and retest it. That's just what my thoughts are. Or, kind of in theory. It kind of just depends on what the PCE comes in at. And, a lot of people say that the MACD is backwards looking. And I found that the MACD has a lot of forward-looking indicators. And if anyone hasn't really been explained how the MACD has those forward-looking indicators, then they wouldn't know how to use them. So I might make a video on it, and I really haven't had that those comments, the people coming in to talk and help me make videos to show what they're looking for. So I'm kind of making videos and guessing what people are needing. So I think the MACD video might be a good video to make, maybe an RSI video. Not quite sure, but if you might be interested in a MACD video, if you haven't been told how it works, or might be interested in how you can get forward-looking indicators out of it, then let me know, and I'll jump into making a video into it faster. Right now, my main goal is pretty much just one video a week. And right now, we do have our fear and greed index. We did jump up on the fear. We were at extreme fear. So it seems like as we climb up on the fear, kind of out of that here, as we climb closer to the 125 moving average, that's kind of what drops us down. That touching the baseline there, that's kind of just what I've noticed. Maybe it's the 200-day average that's pushing us down. The put-call ratio has also been dropping. As we drop away from the calls, that's usually kind of another sign that we're going to get tested with more puts. It's just something that to be on the lookout for. Once again, I trade mainly on NASDAQ, but if you're looking for something else, I'm going to scroll down a little bit for you. If you're looking for different indicators for, let's say, SPY or the Russell, here's some good pivot indicators. So right now, NASDAQ's just passed the 292. It's at, what, 294, 295. So that means it should be turning bullish. Once again, I think that it's just going to fiddle around and then go bearish again. If you believe differently, great. I hope it works out for you. If you're bullish, really hope it works out for you. and I'm really hoping the market goes bullish. I know there's a lot of money when it's a bull market, but right now I just don't see it. So I'm just going to go through this, the pivots for consumer discretionary. Let's see, 145, staples 72, industrials 88, materials 75, utilities 68, financials 31, energy is 71. I think energy is going to take off again. Healthcare 128. I think healthcare, I think that's going to take off again. Technology, once again, yeah, I'm bearish on technology. USO, I'm bullish on oil. Gold, I don't know anything about gold. I can't speak on it. But the pivot line's 170. So, real estate, a smart man would have a comment on real estate. I am not a smart man, so I'll just say it's 93.60. We'll go with semiconductors 214, biotech 119. With biotech, we got COVID, we got monkeypox, and the questions now coming to mind. We got war going on with Russia, and then the possible war coming out with China, and there's that COVID, monkeypox, and all this. Is there a biological warfare going on? Is biotech possibly the big thing that we should be jumping into? I know biological warfare is, a war crime, but I'm not very big into biotech, but it's still an interesting thought. Scary thought, but yeah. TLT 113. And with that being said, all these rate hikes, I think TLT will eventually take off. It's just when. HYG 75. I think I gotta say HYG. A lot of people have been making money off it. I'm just not one of them. Emerging markets 4048. Emerging markets, as far as I know, has been going down pretty steadily. I'm bearish anything on China. China just plays around too much. I know they did a lot with crypto, and then they did a lot with their stocks. And if they end up invading Taiwan, I don't want anything to do with their stock market, and I don't want any part of that. And if y'all do, best of luck to y'all. Japan stock market, they're a little close to China for me. Same goes with Taiwan. Brazil, I am fully bearish on EWZ or Brazil. And that's where I'm going to stop for going on these. Now, as far as that goes, what I'm going to plan on doing on my next video, I'm going to basically go in a little bit more in depth. And on every video, I try to pull up a different stock. But, so, my next video, let's say SLG. I'm going to go to, let's say SLG, if I can type right. Okay, maybe not SLG. Did I put that in wrong? Let's say safe. And I'll figure that one out later. And that would be why. Okay. It was covered up. And see, I do apologize. I am still learning YouTube, and I am trying my best to learn everything. So, my next video, what I'll try to do is go over some of the stocks I have and introduce, let's say, Safehold. It's currently trading at 37.08. It was at 36.65. And Safehold is revolutionizing real estate ownership by providing a new and better way for homeowners to unlock the value of land beneath their building. And the modern ground lease capital solution. Basically, you're buying a piece, or by purchasing, by purchasing a part of their stock, you're purchasing a little bit of the land under your building or a building. And then with that, if my understanding is correct, or if Yahoo's printed here is correct, then this RET will give you a dividend of 71 cents. Now, they have a 1-year target of $81.88. Now, they were at $93.72. Now, I'm going to assume that they are not going to make that 1-year target estimate. I would say that's a very safe assumption, just due to the fact that it looks like they've dropped about 70%, just give or take a little bit. Now, with that, we'll go into their financials, or maybe not. Okay, there we go. And their revenue currently is, let's look at quarterly over annual. So in March, they had a current total operating revenue of just about 60,000. And this is in thousands. And let's see here. And we should have their expenses, let's say about 12,000. So they are profitable. They're making roughly 5-to-1 profits. Total assets, let's see here, 4 total liabilities. Yeah, so current assets, yeah, so they're even doing better on current assets, current liabilities. So they're making, let's see here, what's that, 50-to-1 just on income. Now, we can go into fully go into it with their debt to equity, which is the total liabilities, assets, liabilities, total equity is shareholder equity. So we just did return. Let's see here, anything that we can just pull up. EPS. I'm trying to find something I can just pull up without having to do the math. EPS is 1.1. So this would be, the EPS is good. So there's a good return on it, or potentially good return on it. I can't say there's a good return because the EPS is low. Quarter over quarter. And I apologize. I didn't do this ahead of time because I was trying to just pull it up and see what we could do together. Now, as far as quarter over quarter, they continuously bring in a higher and higher revenue. Their assets, they're building a higher assets. Their current assets getting stronger. Their liabilities, so why are they're borrowing money for something? Now, so basically, we can look at the company and try to make a decision. Now, I understand I'm kind of just rambling on and looking at the company. I will have it a little bit better issued, kind of like this, put together, like on Sunday. When I do this, it'll be put together. We'll look at the company, and I'll have everything wrote down. So it won't be me just rambling on for, let's say, a few hours. We'll knock out a bunch of different stocks, and everything will be wrote down, and we can go over a bunch of different stocks. So that will probably be my next video. Now, my plan is currently right now, I know monthly dividend stocks are pretty hot right now, and just dividend stocks in general are pretty hot. So right now I have been compiling dividend stocks. So my next video will probably be that. So if you are interested in dividend stocks, monthly dividend stocks, please like, subscribe, and let me know. Please leave a comment because I've been looking for feedback. I've been looking to know what I am doing right, what I'm doing wrong, so that I can fix the problems I am doing. So thank you, and I look forward to hearing what I'm doing good and bad. So thank you. Have a great day.